Mic check, 1, 2. Is this thing on? Oh, man. $306, Vic. Look at you go. Look at you. Look at you go. Is this the one? Yeah, there we go. What's up, guys? 1, 2, 1, 2. Good mic. What's up? Hey, guys. Ron Dog 277. Why is it a 250 class? What do you mean? What do you mean, Wash? What do you mean? Jett needs to learn how to back it down. Yeah. Yeah. 311 for Sun. 310 for Jessica. Look at you go. 299 career high. Matt, isn't it frustrating that that is your highest ever, but it's one short of a 300, and that's like frustrating? You know what I mean? It's the worst. I used to bowl in a league, and I had a, man, I don't even remember, like a 792 series or something, and I'm like, even though that's the best I've ever done, I was so mad it wasn't an 800, you know what I mean? It was gnarly. 306, 299, love to see it. Y'all got me. Y'all got me. 294. I went a little too safe. I admittedly played it a little too safe. I took Henry Miller, not because I thought Oldenburg and Jordan Smith were better picks, but I thought it was going to get a little hairy. So I erred on the side of caution, and I wanted to make sure that I made double points with all 8 guys. And it did get hairy. Jett went down, J-Mart went down, Forkner obviously went down. Like, so many people went down. RJ went down, and just the 2 guys that I was kind of not hoping, but I was kind of banking on might go down. They didn't go down. So is what it is. That's why we play the game. So right here, you might notice a feature. If you didn't see this on Twitter, right here, this is something Mark's added. He's toyed with it before, but he added it this weekend, where you can adjust a live timing delay. So if you have that problem like I do, where my scoring on fantasy updates like a minute before my broadcast does, so I get spoiled. If I open up fantasy, I will see somebody drop before they actually wreck on my TV. This will fix it. So you can literally say, hey, make all my scores 1 minute late. And then the scores will actually update 1 minute late. So it's really cool. So Mark's just put that in. So check that out if you guys haven't already. I went with Milito. Hell yeah, Michael. I swapped him out at the last minute from Oldenburg and hoped that Freckles in an all-star. Same, that's what I was thinking too, Mark. That's what I was thinking. I picked Smith and said, let's go for it and hope he stays up. And Jessica, I had him all the way until the last 20 minutes, and I was like, no, you just want to make sure you definitely get all of your guys in. But I did get an FFL. I went Eli for the 450s, and I snagged that one. I'll take it. 250s, I had Forkner, didn't work out. I'm also glad Jett didn't get it. I was rooting against him when he fell. I was like, yes. And then, of course, I, in a roundabout way, wish he wouldn't have fell, because the entire reason, let's get that conversation out of the way, right? We got to get that elephant out of the room. The entire reason that Forkner and Jett crashed, you can say what it is. Was it the tough block? Was it Jett being reckless? Blah, 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 riding over his head, blah, 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 blah. Bottom line, if Jett doesn't fall in the first corner, he's not even in that position. He is 10 seconds ahead of McAdoo, running away with a second win in 2. So whatever you want to call it, wherever you want to blame it, let's just remember that if Jett just happened to not crash in the first corner, none of this would have even mattered. Why is RotoWife better than all of us? B-Hood, because she knows the least amount. B-Hood, somebody tried to talk her out of picking Jordan Smith by being like, oh, in a track with a lot of people tucking the front wheel, you're really going to take Jordan Smith? She doesn't know that. She literally doesn't know anything about these people. She's going in with no, prior knowledge, and it works. That's it. That's all you need to do, you know? The conclusion, go FFL and Triple Crown no matter what. Vic, I agree, and I always have, and I think it's a good idea. Because I know you get 3 tries on each one, but even if you only get one of the 2 classes right, you're still up 8 points. You're still up 8. You're not up a ton, but if you score 15 and you lose 7, you're still up 8. So I still think it's worth it. Forkner finally showed maturity, then gets a rocket from the Jett. Yeah, Kalen, I already, if nothing else, I looked at Roto Wife, and I was like, well, at least I know what I'm making the YouTube video on tomorrow, and that's gonna be the Jett doing that. So still a seven, Vic, but still those 8 points hurt. Those 8 points stopped me from hitting 300, and that hurts me. That hurts me in my gut very hard. But we'll see. Mookie got robbed. Yeah, so Mookie ended up 5th, right? Are the results final yet? Yes, they are. Okay. So let's look at the results really quick. The one thing is, though, it's too hard to look at it and be like, yo, if Malcolm would have gotten 2nd and he went 2-6-3, would that have been enough for him? And it's easy to do that, but you also have to remember that's not quite how it works, because everybody would change how they're riding if that's the thing, you know what I mean? Could this race cost Anderson the championship? Corey, very well could. Very well could. That's a 6-point swing. I don't think so. I really don't believe a championship's going to come down to 6 points. That's pretty unprecedented. It's very not common for that to happen. But if it does, we can look back to this moment. 100%. What about the Phil and RJ thing? Kalen, so it almost looks like RJ tried to scrub over that and just hit Phil. Like, that's obviously not on Phil. I don't really know. It's just hard to see. It looks like he just scrubs into it and it just happens. It sucks. Had Jett for FFL and Forkner's my... No, man, Derek, that's harsh, man. That's harsh. Even more than 16, because it's a 22-point swing from missing the FFL -7 to getting it plus 15. That's 22 points right there. That's a swing. 3 starts is always more exciting than 1. So I talked about it on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw my thread, but I'm really conflicted because the actual pure racing is objectively better during the Triple Crowns. We get more gate drops, we get more starts, we get more chaos, we get more passes, we get more laps. Like, we get 30 minutes of 250s and 36 minutes of 450s. We get more of that. But with that being said, it just sucks because none of those moments matter. The Anderson-Malcolm moment would have been the moment of the race any other weekend. And this weekend, I had already kind of forgotten about it by halfway through the second gangbang. I already forgot that, that was a thing. Because there's so much going on and none of it really sticks. Does that make sense? My biggest, and fantasy aside, the biggest thing that I hate is that you'll never have somebody get that really good score because everything regresses back to the median. Amart getting a 14th would be really, really good, but instead he got 16th because he also had a 20 to go with it. You know what I mean? Or Vince getting an 8th would have been really cool, but at the end of the day, it counts as an 11th because he went 10, 12 in his other 2. So it just really sucks. Cooper Webb winning 1 doesn't really matter because he ended up 3rd on the podium. I don't know. It's hard to say. What a crazy night it is, though. It is. It's the moments matter. It's just not so dire. Yeah, and it's just as I want more consequences, I guess, for the actions of the night. I want to see more of, this guy DNFs, but it doesn't matter. Marv pulling off didn't matter at all because he went 11-11-22 for 14th overall. Doesn't matter at all. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. Bogle kicking his bike in the corner. Yeah, Team Wolves. I know. I said that to Roto Wife because my last bike was a Suzuki and I'm a shorter guy. So if I go down and your blood's pumping, your adrenaline, you have the high heart rate, and then you're also trying to pick the bike up and kick it, and you're not on level ground. It was always a nightmare for me, and she would go to the track sometimes and watch me. So I'm I understand that. Personally kind of thing. But the 16 handicaps need to be fixed. So, Matt, the biggest problem is because we've talked about it, and there just isn't an easy way to do it. We talk about this literally every Triple Crown. When I say we, I don't mean me and the guys, because I haven't had that line of communication with them until this year, but I mean with, y'all. But the problem is there's no good answer to fix it all. We cannot do an earlier lockout because that's just not fair. It's not consistent. It's not fair to other people in other time zones. It's just not really in the spirit of the game. But I do think that we should do is at minimum. I think changing it to 14 minimum, like 14 handicap as a cap instead of 16 would be the way to go. Because that way everybody is guaranteed. That way they're guaranteed 30, not 34. Because would you guys have taken Cross if he was only guaranteed 30? Because 30 is low enough that you're like, well, that's guaranteed double, but there are probably going to be a lot of people that do better than 30. You know what I mean? So I think that that would be a thing to do. 10, Corey, you can't do 10 because we can't cram everything down in there. It's just not really feasible. Because then you would have so many people crammed into so much smaller of a window. Because then it would make people unpickable. Because let's say Cade is a 10. Would you pick Carnow or Cross over Cade? Would you pick Moranz over Cade at a 10? Because Cade was a 10 this round. You wouldn't. You would 100% pick Cade. So then just nobody's picking Moranz, Carnow, or Cross. And you want to make it where everybody is pickable. Does that make sense? You just had a bunch of Cades. Yeah, you just have a bunch of Cades. We all play by the same rules, and I dropped Cross because I knew better. Yeah, and that's the thing is that I kept him because for me, I was like, I don't want any bad weekends. No bad weekends. My bad weekends are done. Results are up. Okay. I wanted to keep trucking. All right, I made up 150 spots. That's not like the best ever, but I'll take it. But yeah, we're all playing the same game. It does kind of suck, but it is what it is. Somebody said, are we going to talk about Pierce Brown? Washed up. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about Pierce? Because he looked really good, but he also looked really bad at times. Before we get too far along, I just want to I want to keep plugging this. I'm going to put it in chat. But if you guys don't already, this is your last week to get in on the Christian Craig plate for Patreon supporters. $5 a month. So $5 for February. Gives you an entry for the Christian Craig plate. We'll give this away next Saturday at the end of the Daytona round. And March, everybody that's already subscribed, when it rolls over to March, when your membership rolls over to March, you'll be entered into March. But this is the last 3 days to get in on the Craig one. So if you want in on this, I'll put the link in chat right now after I set this down. I'm gonna set it like right here. Set it right there so you can see it. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. What was Jett doing? Austin, riding above his head. Literally riding above his head. That's it. He was riding above his head. And he had to do that because he was so far back at times. He hit the tough block. But regardless if he hit the tough block or not, he needs to stop making these mistakes. And I know he's an 18-year-old. He's an 18-year-old. Like, he's a child. He is I mean, I know he's an adult. Like, 18 is legally an adult. But you know what I mean. Like, he's going to make these mistakes. We need to remember that he is 18. You know, when Levi Kitchen makes these kind of mistakes, you're like, well, he's a rookie. That's what I said when I saw Levi down in the first moto. I was like, well, like, that's why I never pick rookies in Supercross. You know, Jett's a rookie. He's gonna ride over his head. He's gonna get that spike of adrenaline. He's gonna do it. And the bottom line is, if he doesn't throw away the first, I'm gonna call them motos because I'm tired of what they're called. If he doesn't throw away the first moto in the second corner, if he leads that wire to wire, then that third one, he doesn't need to push to pass Forkner there because he doesn't need to catch McAdoo for the win. But in that moment, he wants the race win, and he needed to not only beat Forkner, but he needs to catch him, pass him, and gap him because he needed to get Cameron. So am I saying that he didn't take him out on purpose there? He made a mistake. Maybe, you know, the tough block hit was he did hit the tough block. He definitely did hit the tough block. But maybe that's what sent him over the track. Maybe it's not. Who knows? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But at the bottom line is, if he doesn't make so many mistakes earlier in the night, then he doesn't need that. He doesn't need to make that spot right there, and he probably doesn't push that hard right there. So that's it. Styles got 2 FFLs. Who was the third? Was it McAdoo? I think it was McAdoo that ended up getting the third. Is it updated yet on this part? Yeah, McAdoo got the third one because somebody was leading it. Was it Jace Owen that got the whole shot technically? But yeah, McAdoo ended up getting him, but we didn't get to see him lead the first lap because the camera was focused on Jett. Jett didn't fall. Yeah, if Jett didn't fall, he wouldn't have been there. He's 18, but remember, he's been racing. No, I know, Travis, but with that being said, Christian Craig's been racing for 30 years, so he can't make mistakes. Like, it's just a thing of it's not a thing of, like, they lack experience with Jett being 18. It's a thing of, y'all know 18-year-olds. Like, you guys know somebody that's a teenager. The way they act, the way they operate, like, the way they think, comes with time. And there's a reason that most 250 guys never turn into, like, because Tomac doesn't make those mistakes. And that's why he's a multi-time champion. Webb doesn't make those mistakes, that kind of thing. So they'll get there, or they won't. They'll get there or they won't. I hope yeah, Michael, yeah. Poor Forkner. I never thought I'd ever in my life say poor Forkner. But here I am saying poor Forkner. That's a character arc for me. Just wrong place, wrong time. He was looking great. It looks like, do you guys think so? I know that they were both scrubbing it, but it looks like Forkner even tries to scrub further. It looks like he was literally trying to give Jett room. The way that his body language worked as he scrubbed to the right on that thing. I'll have to watch it back in slow-mo in the morning, but it looked like he literally was aware that Jett was coming in and was trying to, like, give him as much space as possible, and it did not matter. Thoughts on Anderson's move on Mookie? Kyle, racing incident. That was the slowest move ever. I don't even know if any contact was made. Like, I'm gonna have to look. Again, I'll have to watch it back. If any contact was made, it was very minimal. I think it's just one of those cases where we can't see the ruts. We cannot see the ruts on the broadcast. Like, it's just not possible. So, like, in that instant, that corner was super, super rutted. And I just think that was a thing of people trying to go so slow and not fall over, and they both fell over. So, I don't think there was anything malicious behind it. It was just a bad circumstance, I guess. I think Forkner saw Jett coming across and tried everything he could. Yeah, Ron, that's what it looked like, but it is what it is. Nothing you can do there. Define brain fart for Jett. Yeah. And I think the one thing that I hated is that he kept saying, like, on the thing, I feel... Well, what was the language that he used? He didn't say I feel bad. What was the language he used? Do you guys remember? But he kept saying, like, I don't want to be the guy that ended this thing. I feel terrible for this. And it's like, you're right, but also 16% of people had a guy not make. Sorry, I just saw that. Bummed. Yeah, I'm bummed, and I'm like, yeah, but again, you don't be bummed for the guy. Just say, like, I need to get better. I need to do better. If I did better earlier in this race, I wouldn't even have been in the position to make contact with Forkner. I think that would have been the right answer. There's no good answer, but that would have been the right answer. I'm bummed. Yeah, he never said sorry, Ian, and that's correct. He never said sorry. How the heck? Vic, there's always some idiot that purposely tries to play for the least amount of points. Like, if you go and look at results, teams, there's always somebody down here. Oh, yeah, so this person is trying to promote their business, so they literally named their thing their website. Don't click on it. Don't give them the benefit. I already looked at it. It's not worth it. And then they try to pick which guys they think, like, these 3 guys are literally out injured. And they picked 2 guys that were definitely never possibly getting an FFL. They literally purposely try to score the lowest they can because they want somebody to notice them. It's stupid. It's stupid. Congratulations. Like, nice one. Everybody's going to come to your business and be like, did you know you're the literal worst person to ever play fantasy motocross in your entire life? Oh man, Stewart embodied Pike tonight. Yeah, he is fired up. What is wrong with Kenny? AS man, I don't know, man. I talked about it, and I just feel bad because we will probably never know what's wrong with Kenny. We probably will not know because these riders do not want to tell us anything at all for whatever reason because there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Like, we don't know what it is, but there's something wrong. But beyond there being something wrong, even when it's not that, he got stuck. Did you guys see the replay? Marvin was stuck in Kenny's tire. What's he supposed to do about that? Was it 2 weeks ago that somebody kind of elbowed him and he got caught on the tough block? He literally like rode onto a tough block. What are you gonna do about that? Like, you literally can't do anything. Those are just freak accidents, and he just keeps like on top of whatever health issues he may have going on. He's also just like when Anderson blasted him off the track. You know, you can say that he shouldn't have taken that line or whatever, but like that was something that, you know, like every time he's had any kind of good racing going, something has stopped him. And it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. I did the stats for a fantasy break. Was that, I don't remember what week that was, the second or third week. And the numbers were Ken Roczen has not finished outside of the top 10 since 2019. The last time he finished outside of the top 10 was when he DNF'd when he tangled with Cooper and his arm got caught in the wheel. Do you guys remember that? He went 2020, 2021 without finishing outside of the top 10. And now he's done it 3 times this year in 8 races. Like, what are you going to do, man? It happens. It happens in sports. That's why we race. That's why we race. That's why we roll dice was always a thing that my friends have always said. Worst fear came true on the over-under with RD. Oh, man. Yeah, Mikhail. Yeah, right, straight to flat. I hope he's okay. Have any of you guys seen anything about any of the injuries? I'll make the video whenever I have info, probably on Tuesday, because nobody wants to talk about this stuff. I try to just make an update for all the riders, or as many as I can, so we'll be looking for what? Kitchen, RJ, Forkner, Marvin. I think Marvin was having more of a mechanical than anything. Did anybody else get like injured? Oh yeah, and 7 Deuce. I saw his crash. Roczen and Chase, the Seb, Vettel, and Leclerc of 2019. God, you're right though. Joey. Does Kenny need to retire, need a new team? Zach, I think he retires. Here's my thing. I love Ken Roczen. You know, I grew up racing. I followed racing a lot. I had this big gap where I just had a lot of other stuff going on in my life. And I just didn't have a lot of time for racing, so I didn't follow it very hard. Do you guys know what I mean? I don't know if you've had a point of that in your life. And so I missed out on like the Villapoto years were like an era that I didn't really follow that well. So when I got back into it, I just was like, you know, you're like, well, all right, who are the new guys? Let me like, you know, my guys are retiring here. Who are the new guys? And I just was like, I'm going to follow Roczen. Like, that's a person I'm going to follow the career of. He's young. He's going to be in the sport for a long time. So I've always been a big Roczen fan, but I just think that his heart isn't in it anymore, and that's okay. That is not a knock against him, like, by any means. I don't want anybody, like, if Ken's listening to this, like, I mean that in the least personal way. It's just that he has a family now. He's getting older. You have other hobbies. Like, dude, these guys have been doing dirt bikes for 25 years. Every one of them. You know what I mean? Like, that's all they've done. They want to move on and do other stuff. It's okay. I don't blame them. Kenny's what, 28 this year, right? Yeah, he'll be 28 this year. You know, Villapoto retired at 27. Ricky retired at 27, I want to say. Minneapolis. Oh, man. Is it still say it? All right, hold on. Give me a second. Which file is it? Mm. No, it's not that one. Didn't Kenny turn pro at age 14? I think so, yeah. Says Arlington. No, they mean up here, this up here. It's not this one. It's not this one. I can't remember which file it is. That I have that one in. It might be pod layouts. No, that's pulp stuff. Is it branding assets? Nope, that's all pulp stuff. It's not cheat sheet. Oh, you know what? It's rider cards, I bet. Imagine being old at 27. Imagine, Joey. But that's it. What was the stat that they kept driving into our head? Like the entire night was, if Eli or Jason Anderson win the title, they are the oldest riders to ever win a Supercross title at 29. Like, and that's such an insane stat. It really is. Like, it's wild to think that. And they brought up, they were like, Ricky Carmichael and Ryan Villapoto retired on top at 27. And you can't dispute that. Like, that's the thing. When you say they retired before they did it. So, you know, Kenny is now at the age where nobody has ever been older than Ken Roczen is today and won a title. And, and sure as hell it's not their first title, too. Like, he wants to win his first title at that ripe old age. If y'all talk, Austin, we got plenty to talk about. How old was McGrath? Jeremy, that's hard to say because which time that he retired? Because McGrath had like 3 false start retirements. Say Phil for East Coast champ. I cannot in good conscience say Phil for East Coast champ. Is he an all-star yet? Did he get all-star status? We got to be getting close, right? No, he's 1 out. He is 1 point away from being an all-star. Poor Phil. Still worth double at Daytona. That outdoor though. When Eli or Jason win the title, do they retire? Jason, I don't know, man. I don't think so. Eli signed a 2-year deal at Yamaha, right? I think they both signed a 2-year deal. So I don't think so. Not that they can't go back on it. They can go back on it. But I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I don't think they do. I think Marv, my thing is you got to remember too, it's not necessarily do they want to retire. Do they have a ride? So, you know, Roczen, okay, let's say, I don't know, let's say you're KTM, right? No, they just signed AP. And they're probably not going to let Cooper go. Who's a good one? Does HRC stick with Roczen past his prime just for the sake that he's good marketing? Or does HRC take a flyer on Craig, Justin Cooper, Colt Nichols, Jeremy Martin, Austin Forkner? Like, you know what you're going to get with Kenny. I still think he's very valuable to the Red brand. But do you think that Kenny's going to get you a title? Do you think that he's going to get you much better results with his, like, what years he has left when his health is a major concern and his commitment might be a concern versus 4 guys that are moving up right now? You know what I mean? Same with, like, like HEP, which isn't even like a big team, but let's just say HEP. Like HEP, cannot hold on to like Bogle? Does Moto Concepts hold on to Freezy when you have, I don't think that Moto Concepts could really pull out the checkbook and get a guy like Justin Cooper or Colt Nichols, but there's a lot of guys moving up, and there's not a lot of rides available. So like they're gonna have to figure it out unless people want to open it up. It was on the Pulp show. I clipped it for the Pulp Instagram. But what prevents Star Racing can have 8 guys in the 250 class? What prevents Star from just having 4 450 guys next year? Why not? You know what I mean? Think HRC take Roczen on 1-year deal to hold the spot for Jett. And Ronnie, I wouldn't be surprised if Ken did one more year of either indoor or outdoor. Like maybe Kenny does Supercross for 2023 and Craig does outdoor, but I don't think Craig wants to do that anymore. I don't think he wants to do the half splitsies anymore. So he might say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't know. It's just, we're getting there. They gotta go. You know what I mean? They gotta go. Like the older guys gotta go because we're just having this log jam of content of just skilled riders coming up. You know what I mean? Andy, I don't know about how Kitchen is, so I don't think it's really too early to talk about fill-in until we know how hurt he is. Most of the next at a -1. I don't agree. I don't even think he'll be a -1, Vic. I think he will be a 0 or positive, because if you look at his results, those aren't negative results. Let's look here for a second. I always hate. So what? He went 11, 8, 13. Yeah, I think he's a 0 or a 1. I really do. Craig better say yeah to whatever you want. That's true too, yeah. 83 people scored 315. If pick time is tiebreaker, is it each rider pick time when team is saved, Rob? From what I understand, that they are already sorted by tiebreaker. Rob, is what I understand, but don't quote me on that. But if you're looking at the championship results for Arlington, like these guys are already in order by their timestamp. But like I said, I don't know that for sure. Then how is Ferandis a -1? Vic, it's literally average of last 3. So Ferandis was a -1 because his last 3 starts were like 11, 10, 6. So that was like 11, 10, 6 would be 27. Divided by 3 is 9. So 10 minus 9 is a -1 handicap. Like that's more or less how it goes. They do a little bit of tweaking beyond that, but from what I understand, the handicaps are more or less the average of their last 3 finishes. And if they need it, they will bump plus or -1 in certain cases, depending on stuff. But that's how it kind of goes. Husqvarna pairs with Mookie. Yeah, so that's another one. Okay, that's a great one. Thank you for bringing up reference. Dean, I love Dean. Dean's gone, right? We got to agree. I love Dean very much. He's one of my favorite people in the pits. But we know what we're getting from Dean. It's 10th place. And there's nothing we can do about that. He's a really good guy, but can Rockstar hold his bike again when you know what you're getting from Dean? You're getting 10th. But you could have Christian Craig or Justin Cooper or Colt Nichols or whatever. Like those guys, if those guys want to move up and they want to ride, you have to take them, because we don't know. Colt Nichols could be the next title contender. We will not know that. It's free Rockstar marketing. Yeah, but Vic, how long is Rockstar going to stay with Husqvarna? And I agree with you. And I know. You like, nobody needs to be like, I am the first one to tell y'all that, I understand how powerful marketing is, and I wish the rest of motocross would catch up. I wish that people would understand the reason that, Adam Enticknap still gets The reason Adam Enticknap still has a ride is not because he makes mains. It's not because of his prowess. Like, he's a personality that people really like, and they can afford him. They would rather have 7 Deuce Deuce than, say, Ryan Brees or Freddie Noren, because nobody really cares who gets 18th in the main, but 7 Deuce Deuce knows how to do social media. Dino Dutz, I would love to see it. I would love to see a reference. I think so. I think Dean could go ride yellow, and I think that he would do really well over there. Thanks for the show, Robert. Absolutely, man. I'm glad to have you here. But yeah, Dean and Bogle at HEP for the ultimate cool buddy cop lineup. Yeah. Does Anstie stay around? Because Rocky Mountain could have a total flux. Like, I think they keep McElrath. Do they keep Savachi? Very talented, hurt all the time. Bogle, very talented, hurt all the time. Anstie, very talented, hurt all the time. I just don't know how long you can keep those kind of guys. Again, would you rather have those or that crop of guys coming up? Oh, the broadcast was very bad, yeah. Eli and Jason were 0.7 difference battling, and they randomly show 8th. I just literally don't understand. I do not get it. I just really don't get it. What's your thoughts on Enzo Lopes? Bruno, I've been on the Enzo Lope train for years. I tweeted about JGR. I don't know if anybody got that. Did you guys catch the tweet or not? It breaks my heart that JGR closed, because JGR's last year, they had Phil, Enzo Lopes, and Kyle Peters. And I'm like, dude, they have 3 bona fide top 10 guys right now, and that team is gone, and that makes me so sad. The broadcast was terrible. And like, I mean, like, oh, look, I got Kristen Beat unfollowed me from Twitter, and like, you know, Clinton from 3 Laps Down beating up on me, but I'm a man of the people. I'm one of you guys. This broadcast is just not good. My thing is always, who is this for? Who is it for? Who is it really for? And that's a legitimate question. Who is this for? It's for us. And I know that we're a very small minority, but like, is anybody pleased with any of the stuff they do? Because I don't think they're pleasing anybody. So then something needs to change. If you're making nobody happy, then you got to change something. You know what I mean? Brayton is 37 and he's top 10. Y'all are too hard on riders if they aren't top 3. Top 15 is fast. No, but Chris, like, I am 100% with you. It's not an age thing. It's a results thing. And I'm with you. Like, there are only so many, you know, somebody has to get 12th. There are what? Let's count. So there's 3 KTM, 1 Gas, 2 Husky, 2 Honda, 2 Kawasaki, 2 Yamaha. There's 12 factory bikes right now. Like, one of the bikes has to be 12th. One factory guy is going to be the 12th fastest guy. But just like in any other sport, the weakest link is always looking to be replaced by the next young hot thing. Like, you're always looking for that next guy that could be the title contender. Being the veteran just doesn't cut it, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, you know. No, Joey, I mean like Kawasaki does have 2 riders, even though there's only, you know, KTM does have 3, even though 1's out right now. My favorite moment of the night was when there was a literal battle for 3rd place in the first main event between Jett and RJ. And then Ricky says, he can make the pass right here. And they literally changed the channel. Like, at the moment that he was about to pull alongside RJ. And you're just like... And they literally have picture-in-picture. We have that technology. They use it all the time. They use it too often, if you ask me. But the one time that if you really want to show Forkner, you know, taking the checkers, by all means, put that in the little box, and you'll do great. Oh, Ricky. Oh, yeah, reference. Exactly. It's bad, man. It's bad. You think NBC isn't seeing the money return they expected? Oh, for sure, Ryan. And the problem is, Ryan, is you got to remember, the NBC deal was written before COVID. NBC Sports folded because there was no sports to cover for a very long period of 2020. There is no channel for us anymore. Their channel literally got wiped out. We're on CNBC and people are like, why are we on the stock channel? Because that is literally the only channel available. NBC is contractually obligated to put us on television, and that is the only place we get to go. That's why we're on like USA every random week or whatever. So when the NBC deal is up, they are absolutely going to kick us off. We're probably going to end over on MAV TV again. And you know what? That's fine, because I'd rather be somewhere that wants us, because NBC does not want us. And clearly Fox didn't want us either. Nobody really wants us. You know, I don't want to go full streaming, but that might be the future. I don't think that means the end of our sport. Flat Track just went more or less full streaming, and it looks like it's great. You know what I mean? Can't someone tell the camera person not to be so focused on the bike? You don't know if it's racing or parked in a dirt lot. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I wish Moto would just stream on YouTube. Same, Joey. Same. Or Twitch. Somebody brought up Twitch the other day, and I was like, you know what? That's actually a fantastic idea. Because Twitch would also help grow, because Twitch caters to a younger audience. I think it could be really cool. I'm not saying that it'd be like the big all end all, but yeah. Mariner fan, Derek, Mariner fan, baby. Yeah. Yeah, a Mariner fan from Ohio, so everybody is talking about, you know, oh yay, the Bengals, and I'm like, look, man, y'all don't know pain. I don't want to talk about pain with you. Ricky always interrupts Will Christian. That poor girl can't get a full statement in. I don't know what's worse. Is it Dan Hubbard interrupting literally everybody, or Ricky interrupting Will Christian every time he gets the chance? I'll be at Daytona next weekend. Colby, enjoy the race. I've always wanted to go to Daytona. What place you in fantasy? Overall, I'm in 1200th. Man, I was in a hole early. I'm digging myself out. There's still time. We got a lot of time. When they reference the name of the race team, the name is a mile long. Which one was it that they did today? It wasn't the race team, but oh, I think it was Kristen called him Cheyenne Harmon. I think it was Kristen. Somebody said it. They said Cheyenne Harmon, and I was like, oh, Harmon. His name's Harmon now. His commentary sucks, plain and simple. Trent, and I just hate it because, like, we don't know what goes into making these decisions. We literally don't. We don't understand. We will never understand because they don't tell us. And to be fair, it's not our business. This is corporate decisions. But I just want to know why they feel like they need to have... If they want to attract casuals so much, why are they so caught up on having the commentators be an old guy, like a guy from our heyday, a nostalgia pick? Like Emig, Carmichael, and Langston are nostalgia picks. There's nothing wrong with them. They know their stuff. I know they're okay on camera. I think Ricky's the worst of the three, but they're all okay on camera. But like, why does Feld feel the need to put that kind of guy in the booth? Like, it has to be a former champion. Like, anybody cares. Because those of us that are already in the sport, we don't really care that it's Ricky Carmichael in the booth. But also, if you're a casual person, you don't know who Ricky Carmichael is. He hasn't raced in 15 years. When they introduce him and he's like, you know, I'm Lee Diffie alongside my partner, the GOAT, Ricky Carmichael. Nobody knows what that means. I don't know. I mean, but like, I don't think Ricky does an exceptional job, but I don't think I could do a better job. I probably couldn't. I don't know who would do a better job except for Adam C. and Cirolo, but I don't want him to retire yet, so we'll get there when we get there. It is what it is, you know. I picked the top 5 in fantasy night. Chris, that's rad. Congrats, man. Shane McElrath from the RM, ATV, MC, SX, Fantasy, Fly Racing, WPS, KTM Factory Racing Team. Yeah, be good. Like, even when I make the little fantasy graphics for the video, you know, these... what am I looking for? These things. When I make these for the video graphic, like, I just put... It's Star Racing Yamaha, man. I'm not putting that whole thing on there. Who's he race for? It's Star Racing. You know who it is. Like, I'm not... I'm not going all the way out on that. How did my league mates do? Ooh, I'm in first, baby. What up? Suck it, experts. I know Marks is in first, but Marks isn't an expert. He's genius or lucky. Every time Dan tries to say crop, oh yeah, yeah, it sounds like Joanne. Well, because it is Joanne. It's Joanne. It's I don't know. Oh, can we decide? Does anybody know? Because I thought I knew how to pronounce Ryder D's last name. I thought I did, but they've got me second guessing this year because they pronounce his name differently almost every time they say it. How is his name pronounced? Because now I'm afraid to say it because I don't remember. I don't know what's right anymore. Can we start an MXGP show? Washed. I am not nearly versed enough in MXGP to talk about. I am sorry. We'll waste this time. It's Cisco, not Chesco. See, but you said Chesco. See, look, I don't know. Like, I need to hear him say it. Apparently. It's pronounced right. It's just Ryder D. Just call him Ryder D. Anyone know how the Mulligan? Yeah, here you go. Mulligan team is not doing good. Not doing good at all. Tell me the Mulligan. I bet the Mulligan team beat Dan this week. Oh, they tied. Did the Mulligan team and Dan have the same team? They did. They had the exact same team. Except the Mulligan. No, they didn't because the Mulligan didn't have FFLs and did the same. That's funny. It's like San Francisco. Okay, Dennis. Thank you. We need an alternate commentary with Buttery. Well, and that's the thing. If you guys want it, that exists. The Collective Experience does their own watch along. I'm pretty sure Gypsy Tales does their own watch along. Like, if you want to do that, you can mute your TV and go to YouTube and watch somebody else talk about it. I need the vroom vrooms. If I could get a clean no Ricky feed where I could do my own voiceover over, I would do it. I would love it, you know. I've always said Chesco. Jeremy, that's what I thought because that's what it looks like, but like I said, now they got me second guessing everything. I was yelling flag on the backside of the bridge. Yeah, Chris, I just was like, when he was just laid and he was just sprawled out, like, I'm like, that's not good. He's hurt. Take a look at the factory Kawasaki take a look at that factory Kawasaki Monster Energy now available at Amazon. Pro Circuit makes a pass for 30. Yeah. What do you think of the Anderson Mookie contact? We talked about it earlier, so I'm not going to go too deep. But racing incident in a super rutted corner, two fast guys trying to go slow. I don't know. I will have to rewatch it in slow-mo a couple times, but I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Watching the motos on Peacock makes me appreciate the... Oh, man, Formula 1's so good, Joey. So good. Where are my Formula 1 people at? Where y'all at? I wish Formula 1 had better fantasy, I'll tell you that. So it's 11:47 here. I'm not ending anytime soon, but I do want to show you guys a little sneak peek. A little sneak peek for March. So I posted up. It'll be... Chat should be over here for most of you, but it might be below. I'm not positive, but wherever chat is for you, there's a link at the top for the Patreon. I got a little something for this month. I got a little something to give away from our friends, our good friends, our best friends. Best team in the pits, Team Solitaire. So I don't want to give you guys the full reveal. But it is not a number plate. It is not a number plate for March. It's something a little bit grander. We'll be giving away our first jersey for March. So if you are not yet subscribed to the Patreon, if you subscribe right now, you'll be entered into the Christian Craig number plate that I will give away next weekend. And then when your sub rolls over for March, that'll be for the jersey. So that'll how it works. I cannot stand Cooper Webb. Trent, I don't think that's unpopular. I don't like Cooper Webb. I don't know. Like, he's just not he's not an easy guy to root for. I don't know. Is that weird? I'm a big personality person. And for me, there's nothing about Cooper Webb that stands out as a guy I'd want to hang out with. I'm sure he's nice. I'm sure he's a great guy. I just, there's nothing about him that I'm like, man, could you imagine if I got to like hang out with Cooper Webb for an hour? What would I do? I don't even know what we would talk about. Like, I don't know anything about him. Nothing at all. I like, don't get me wrong, like AP isn't for me. I'm from Ohio. I know a lot of people like Aaron Plessinger. I don't need to hang out with AP to get that like do it for Dale experience. I can go down the street. I know people. My high school, we had a drive your tractor to school day. I'm good. I'm good on that. But at least I know what I'd get from AP. You know what I mean? Who's your favorite? Austin, so I'm newer to the sport. I really like Daniel Ricciardo. This sounds dumb. I really like Daniel Ricciardo because I love his tattoos. Uh, he has a lot of American traditional tattoos, which is something that I'm really into. But I really like Lando too. I really want to be a George Russell fan, but apparently rooting for Mercedes is bad, or so people say. I don't know. I don't know. Did they show the Stacy kid smashing the tough block? Robert, I don't think so. I don't think they did. That's a good question. The Cowboy Cooper that hat would change your mind. See, he's fun. He took a fun picture once. Cooper is a racer and a champion underdog since mini bikes. Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing, Chris. And for some people, the way they are on a bike is good enough. And that's fine. If y'all want to root for somebody simply because of how they are on the track, more power to you. I don't hate that at all. But like for me personally, I like guys that I would like if I felt like we would be friends in real life. You know what I mean? If I could see myself being their friend. And I think that's why, like, me and AC, dude, we just get on so many levels, especially music. Music's a big one. But yeah, Cooper Webb, I'm like, does Cooper Webb like music? Does he do music? Does he like music? Does he play video game? Like, what is Cooper Webb doing when he's not training? I literally wouldn't know, you know. Mark, I would love to help set up a fantasy for flat track. I grew up racing flat track. All of my idols when I was a kid were flat track racers. I don't have that. I don't have the time to do that by myself. And I don't have the resources to do it by myself either. So I would definitely need some help on that, you know. Did you talk about Forkner? Robert, yeah, I mean, we a little bit. Is there anything in particular you want to ask? Because we did, but I can touch on it again if you want to. Barsha wears the Nicky Hayden 69 on his bum. Gotta cheer for him, but he makes it hard to like him. It's weird, Grant, how Barsha has had this character arc development go from everybody hating him because he's a dirty rider to everybody liking him because he's an aggressive rider. And I don't think he got any less dirty or any more aggressive. I think his riding style has more or less stayed the same, but it's weird how people have changed it from he's dirty to he's aggressive, and like aggressive is good and dirty is bad. Does that make sense? It's weird. It's weird how people have like justified it that it's different now, and I don't know how it's different now. Barsha's YouTube channel is pretty cool. Vic, the one thing I will say, because I try really hard, a lot of people like meme on me and Pulp for the thumbnails and call them clickbait, and by definition they are. I make thumbnails that you want to click on. That's my job, both on my personal channel and on Pulp. That's my job. I want you to click on the video, so I need to make a good thumbnail. But I never mislead people. You know what I mean? Like, when I make the thumbnail, the quote that I put on it is a literal direct quote in the interview or whatever. But anyway, I told you I'd say this. I did take offense to Barsha's video where he said I violated my probation. And then in the video, it was literally a gag where some guy came up dressed like a cop and like pretended to arrest him at the practice track. And I'm like, no, that's not okay. Don't make a video and say I violated my probation, which would be actual legitimate Supercross news, but it's really just a joke. Like I thought that was lowbrow for a literal professional athlete that does not need any help getting clicks. You know what I mean? I laugh with Barsha. The same move gets a def reaction based on the Bam Bam. It's true, Ron Dog. It's true. Barsha could literally launch Vince Freezy to the moon and nobody would care. Nobody would care. Nobody. It worked though. We all clicked. Yeah, but then I downvoted it because I was mad about it. Jett deserves a penalty. Phil, the problem is that you can't. I don't think you can penalize something you can't. With that being said, the AMA has not been very consistent or transparent about their penalties ever, especially this year. But I don't think you could prove intent there, and I think that's really important. It's not just cross jumping, it's did he mean to do it? Was Jett's goal in that situation to take out Austin Forkner? And the answer to that is no. But with that being said, there was a point where they had a red cross flag and Ricky said they have to roll the entire section. He said that out loud. Ricky said they need to roll the entire section when there's a cross flag out. But Cooper Webb did not do that last week. I don't even want to get all the way into that, but Cooper Webb did not roll the entire section last week when somebody was down, when Sexton was down. He rolled the table that Sexton was on and then jumped out. That's not the whole section, but I digress. Do you think Hayden Deegan will be competitive when he starts racing TV? No. I mean, yeah, he'll be competitive, but I don't think he'll be a phenom or anything. I think he'll come in and he'll do good. I don't think he'll do well. He'll do good. That's it. There is no chance. Yeah, no chance. No chance for penalty. Also, Tanner, it's good to see you, dude. The series doesn't start until Daytona, right? It's been rough, man. It's been rough. Usually I have a strategy, and this year my strategy has been working the last couple weeks, but like those first 3 weeks, my normal strategy I go to every year just weren't working out. Sucks. Feld should be looking at other things to build the sport. If there was radio to rider that you could pay and listen to. The only thing that I would hate, Tim, and did anybody watch AJ Catanzaro's video where he mic'd himself up and went out for qualifying? Look that one up. That's really cool. Just to hear him, just to hear what he's thinking while he's doing it. But I don't know how clearly we would even be able to hear any rider communication when everybody is off the rev limiter so much. I just don't know how well that would even work. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, J-Mart for Daytona is a lock, man. I can't believe, what was his picture? And his picture was like 10%. I'm like, y'all are out of here. Y'all, what are you doing? 8%. Yeah, come on, guys. Come on, you gotta do better. We need that J-Mart at a 2 at Daytona. Yeah, AJ's great content. I feel so bad for that guy. Not just him. I feel bad for all of the riders, all of those guys that are now trainers, coaches, school, stuff like that. Because those guys, this sport's so brutal, and we do this to them. This sport is so brutal on what is successful. Like, these guys are literally the fastest 50 people on the planet every week. And because they're not the fastest 20, people are like, you suck, why should I even listen to you? Why should I listen to you? Why would I take advice from you? You don't even make mains. I've literally seen that on AJ's social medias, and it's like, I don't think we do not understand it. How many of you guys have ever stood on a track? Like, have gone down onto a Supercross track and done like a track walk or anything like that? It is like, I cannot describe to you how tall and steep everything is and how deep all the ruts are. Like, I cannot even begin to describe to you. I could show you pictures of me standing in the rut and it would do you no justice. Like, you need to go and stand in them yourself to really appreciate how insane those obstacles are. And the fact that anybody can do them at all is so impressive. So impressive, man. It's just bonkers. 20 plus 1 of bleeps if riders got mic'd up. That's true, Ron Dog. That's true. What I would like to do is, could we mic them up? Because I think you're onto something. Let's mic them up kind of like they do the miking of the sideline. Why can't we do more of that? Have a microphone in the mechanics area. Have a microphones during like qualifying when like the rider will pull in and they'll make a small adjustment, or the mechanics Like they might just talk a little bit. Like give us more mic up during track walk. Like it doesn't even have to be during the race. Just let us hear them. Hear their personalities at all. You know what I mean? I rode Mike Kudrowski's test track in 2004, and my dream of going pro died that day. Ron Dog, that's got to be a cool experience, though. Was he there? There should be a factory race and a separate privateer race. Yeah, I just think the problem is there's not enough time in the show. That's the biggest thing about Supercross. You got to remember, this is a production, this is a show, and their schedule is so tight that it's really difficult to get any flexibility in there. How about Brown? Yeah, Tanner. Yeah, somebody on Twitter was like, is Brown hurt? And I was like, I just think he's gotten some bad luck these first two mains. But yeah, then he went out and got second and was so fast too. Like he looked comfortable in second. What did he end up? Man, he didn't lose all-star status. He was close too. So he ended up what, 12th? Not a good weekend. If RJ is healthy, y'all pick an RJ at a 0. Y'all pick RJ at a 0. They'd have to censor everything. It'd be tough to make it work. It really would, though. AJ is a great rider, but he just isn't aggressive enough to compete. And that's the thing, too, is that, Ryan, like, do you even want to? You got to remember what, like, do these guys want to put all of this on the line all the time, every weekend? I think that's something that people like Ken, because let's all be honest, after Ken, was it Ken's brother-in-law that passed away a couple years ago? I know it was like his best friend, but I think it was his best friend and something else. You know, like I think there was something else too. But ever since then, he just hasn't really been the same. And it changes you. Or that's right, he got paralyzed. I'm sorry. Thank you, Austin. That changes you. Like, not just that big, like anything you do in your life. When something like that happens and you're like, I don't know if I can put up with that anymore. I don't know if I can put myself through. I mean, hell, even me as like as just a vet rider, like as an amateur, just casual rider, you know, every time I ride, I get hurt. Every time I ride, I fall over and just dumb things. I'm just, you know, getting old and like I have a bum knee and my elbow's kind of jacked up and like, you know, one time I went out and I just fell. It was a dumb little thing. Just fell over in a corner. And it was later in the day, so it was starting to dry out. So the ruts were really, really like hard and peaky, and I fractured a rib, dude. I fell over in the corner, like a 5 mile an hour fall over, and I hurt for months. You know, it's just, and that's at a low level. So at some point, like, do these guys want to go just full tilt into that corner with the 21 best dudes in the world? And you can definitely see the guys that don't. And I mean, you know, no offense to them, Bogle, Cade, you'll see guys almost every single time. If they don't get the most amazing start ever, they are the first ones on the brakes. And that's okay. But that's what keeps them in the back half of the pack, you know? AJ makes him, yeah, not worth. I think at this point, Scott, he is racing to make content, to put on his YouTube channel, to feed the algorithm, to get him more business. And that is fine by me, you know what I mean? His brother-in-law, or was his trainer, Tanner, that's what I was saying. Like, I thought he was super close, like, to the guy, like multiple reasons why he was close. 2017 Austin, I just remember when Kenny came into the press conference wearing a suit in 2017, I literally was like, this guy is the champion. This guy is gonna win everything for the next 5 years. I was so sure. And in those first 2 rounds, he looked untouchable. I don't think I've ever seen anybody, like, I've never said that about anybody, where I literally just saw him and I'm like, this guy is going to absolutely crush everything. I've never been so sure of anything in my life than I was going into 2017. And it just wasn't meant to be. And it breaks my heart Ken Roczen leads the most amount of race wins without a championship. And that will probably be his unfortunate legacy. And that sucks so bad because he deserves a title so bad. Dungey was all over him. Rondog, you're wrong though. Round 2, he got a terrible start and he caught and passed Ryan Dungey convincingly. Like, did they have a battle? Yeah, but he caught and passed Dungey. Not a lot of people caught and passed Dungey like that. You know what I mean? It just was just a heartbreaker, man. He's been really unlucky. Yeah, that's the thing, Tanner, is that like he has something health, whether it's injury, mental, an illness, whatever it is, there's something off about him. But yeah, like every single race, even if he, like this weekend, he qualified really well. And I was like, yo, maybe he's actually gonna do it. Maybe this will be a nice bounce back round. And then crashed in the first one. Then in the third main, Marvin was somehow stuck in his tire. And he wasn't just dead last. He had to literally get off his bike and remove Marvin Muskin from his back tire and then continue the race. And I'm like, God, the poor guy. Gosh, man. Poor guy. Needs a change. And I just think he's done, Big Ripper. I really do. I just don't think he wants to race anymore. And like I said, it's not personal. I love Kenny. Just not there, you know what I mean? Had enough of this. Brad, don't leave, Brad. Who do you want me to talk about? Brad, tell me. Who do you want me to talk about? We'll do it. Whatever you want, buddy. Anything to keep you stay. Anything. What do we want to talk about? Who do you want to talk about? Give me a topic. Let's do it. I got you. Don't make me wait too long. Literally anybody, Brad. Come on. Chris, I appreciate you being here. Take care, man. I'll see you next weekend. Salt Lake. I honestly know, Colby, not really. What was Salt Lake? What was Salt Lake's thing? Talk about Amart. Oh man, up and down Amart. I was hoping Amart was gonna tank it. Full disclosure between me and you. I had him last weekend. And I wanted him to tank it so that I could have him next weekend at a ton of points, and he didn't, and I'm really sad about it. So I would have sold y'all out for it. Would have sold all of you out for it. Forkner. We talked about Forkner. We did I mean, again, if you guys have a specific question about riders that we already talked about, like I'll go over it again. I just don't want to do it too much. Hello from break. Sounds like y'all had a yeah, it's been a night. Yeah, it's been fun. God forbid we talk about one guy for longer than 90 seconds, and apparently that's too much for some people. Daytona 250s, Jett or Cameron McAdoo? Just what are you asking? What are you asking me? Like who to pick or who I think is gonna win? It's interesting. It's interesting. We're all on the J-Mart train for fantasy next weekend, but you also have to remember that Jett is the defending outdoor national champion. If his handicap goes up to a 2, I'm picking Jett. I'm probably picking Jett, outdoor style track, who would suit better? Jett. It's Jett. He's the defending champion, outdoor champion. Let's talk about Moran's. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Moran's, I love that man. I love that man so much. And from a marketing standpoint, I would love to ask Kevin. I wish that these guys would talk money, but I feel like they wouldn't. I don't think he would. I would love to talk money to Kevin and be like, is what you do lucrative enough that you would actually take a pay cut to be on a small team? You know what I mean? Because I think he deserves to be on a team, but I know that Justin Starling has said that him doing a privateer program pays better than when he was on JMC? Was that the team that he was on? I know he was on Michael Lindsay's team, but I want to say it was JMC Husqvarna was the team that he was on before that. But it's also if you're willing to do all of that extra work, you know what I mean? Who do you got 450 next year, like for the title in 2023? Man, I don't even know. I don't even know who I got this year. How do you think Colt would have done if he wouldn't have went down? Colt definitely makes the coast. I think Colt wins. I think Colt wins 2 of the first 6. I think Craig gets 2, Colt gets 2, and then Hunter gets 1 and Mosman gets 1. I think that's a much better title. Could you imagine if Justin Cooper was racing this coast? Could you imagine? God. Think about Webb. Nah, I'm like, I don't think there's any reason to shake things up for Cooper. And I don't think Honda wants Webb. If we're being honest, you know, Sexton isn't like the most charismatic guy, but he does have some level of like swag to him that I think works out. I think Honda is definitely more in the business of hiring at this point. If they can't win a title, because they just haven't. Are they the only one that haven't won a title in a 450 title in the 4-stroke era? I think they're gonna want somebody with more charisma than Webb. I just don't see Webb going there. Webb fits in perfectly at Red Bull, right next to Marv. AP does not fit in over there, but you know, who do you think wins the East-West shootout? That's a great question. Craig. It's got to be Craig. I think Craig wins. I think that if Jett gets a start, but look, man, Craig gets starts. He doesn't fall down in the first turn. He doesn't make mistakes this year. I'm not saying he doesn't make mistakes ever, but like this year, he does not make mistakes, you know? Cody Schock. Yeah, he'll be good, Phil. He'll be good. He'll be worth a lot of points, too, because he'll have a really high handicap now. Sexton does good pulp interviews. He really does. I like Sexton. I just mean that he's not like a social media darling. I don't think people are trying to get him to the high level that Ken is. I just want to know how much money do you think Ken brings to that program, you know? Think it's his training regimen. I do, Austin. I do. It's hard to believe that Malcolm is 28. They said that on the pre-show, I think, today, and I just was like, wow, I forgot that he is the same age as all these other guys. It feels like he should be a couple years younger, and he's just not. He's right up there with them. I don't think he's going to push, though. No, I don't think he's going to push. I don't think he's going to need to push, though, Vic. Like, he's going to go out. He races like a 450 guy, where Christian Craig goes out, pulls the whole shot, he sprints for 2 laps and coasts. And that's perfect. You know what I mean? That's what he needs to do on the 450 next year. Joey, that's what that came up on the Pulp Show last weekend. Somebody asked, well, what would prevent Star from having a 4-man 450 team next year? Like if Cooper, Craig, and Nichols move up, pick 2 of them, whatever 2 you want, and just make it a 4-man 250, 4-man 450 squad. And I'm like, that's actually a really good idea, whoever called it and said that. Nornet is 16 next weekend when we turn this. Where we turn this around. Tanner, do you have the guts to pick him, though? Do you have the guts to pick him? Jett riding like a young James Stewart has tons of speed, but dangerous when he wants it too bad. Yeah. Paying guys to do. Oh, for sure, Tanner. For sure. No, agreed 100%. But, I mean, it's like you said, parts and mechanics, if they can convert 2 250 guys into 1 450 guy, then that will relatively equal out. Relatively. You know what I mean? I didn't know Jarrett Fry was cut. Yeah, Vic, 1 and done. Well, he got 2 outdoor years. Wait, he was hurt last year, wasn't he? Did he even race outdoor last year? Because I don't remember him racing outdoor. Yeah, he didn't even race outdoor last year. So he was 1 and... No, he did. He raced outdoor last year. So he had 4 outdoors his rookie year, 1 Supercross season, 1 full outdoor season, and was gone. Cut from the team. It's bonkers. Bonkers, man. But do you guys feel it? And like, I don't mean to put guys on blast here. I did that on the Patreon pod. I don't know which one of you did it, but you got me in trouble. I said on the Patreon pod that I didn't think his heart was in it. and then I compared him to a former rider that I thought Fry was following in the footsteps of. And somebody clipped this Patreon exclusive podcast that people literally pay to have access to and sent it to the rider. And then I got the rider angry in my DMs because they clipped it out of context. And they were mad at me because they thought I was talking crap about them. And I'm like, holy crap, dude, why would you literally pay for Patreon to support me and then send clips of my podcast to riders and try to get them mad? Anyway, here was my case about Jarrett Fry. No offense, but why do you think Star cut him? He's literally posted on Instagram once in December. This was a sponsored post, and once last weekend. He thanked Yamaha in September, and then he literally didn't do anything for months. And I'm like, I know that none of these kids signed up to be social media influencers, but that's your job. Your job is not just to show up and race dirt bikes on Saturday. And, you know, the results aren't there. And on top of the results aren't there, he's also not producing for the sponsors. So yeah, that would probably be me, you know. Welcome to me. I guess, Kurt. I was like, have I made it now? I just thought that was ridiculous that I was like, somebody really sent this to this guy. And now this guy's mad at me. And I told him, I said, I was like, yeah, I did say that. I compared another rider to you because you're a former factory rider. And then when you got dumped after just a few years, you didn't seem interested in racing anymore. And I said that to him in the DM. And I just told him, I was like, I get it. Like my last year racing, obviously me racing, you know, on mini bikes at the national level is much different than a factory Supercross ride. But like, I get it. My last year, I was out. I was checked out. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was done. I didn't want to do it. So I get it, man. Like that last year, your heart's just not in it. I get it. I've noticed Mookie is basically refusing to give up the lines or check up. Sometimes it benefits him, but Marvin and Anderson both expected him to check up and he didn't. So he can't be mad at them. He can though, Josh, because you can't expect somebody's going to give you the pass. I don't know. Like I get what you're saying, but you can't expect somebody's going to give you the pass. Especially because like those guys know him. They've been his teammates. They know him, you know? He's so focused in the gym making gains. I swear. Vic, me and you were going to fight, dude. Riders have to answer to their boss. Yeah. And now you got reporters unfollowing you. I'm it. I've done it here. Not their job to sell dirt bikes on social media. But Dan, it is. But here's the thing, Dan. If somebody came out and they were winning races, they were winning titles, and they were stacking podiums, by all means, F the social media posts. Eli Tomac doesn't have to say anything. He doesn't need to come out here selling Arma and Monster Energy drinks and whatever Star Racing is sponsored by, I don't know, because he wins races, and that's how he sells it. They put him on the t-shirts at Supercross. But if you're a factory guy on easily the best bike in the class, the Star Racing Yamaha, and everybody else on the team is absolutely stacking podiums. Everybody on the bike was doing that. Thrasher was out winning. Craig was winning. Nichols was winning. Cooper was winning. Jeremy Martin's a champion. And then you've got Jarrett Fry getting 15th place on a Star Racing Yamaha and then not even doing any of the bare minimum, you know, promotions. Like, yeah, you got to go, man, because we've got Kitchen once in, we've got Romano once in, we've got who's the other guy? Is it LeBlanc? We got LeBlanc. Like, you know, there are people waiting for your seat, and you're doing nothing. Tomac never posted when he's on Cal. Yeah, Tim, because like look, your job, we pay you to win races, and you're winning. You're right again. Oh, it just such a hard thing to hear all the time. You know what I mean? Look at Masterpool Social. Yeah, Vic, and that was a thing too, is that I actually did that. I actually went and looked at Masterpool because he's supposed to be racing. I don't know if you guys saw, but he was supposed to be on the AEO team, But then apparently he got hurt, and then he was gonna go to the East Coast, and then he said he was looking for a full-time practice mechanic. He was literally on the entry list for Minneapolis, and he like posted that he was riding, blah blah blah, and then just radio silence. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Just come out and say, hey man, I'm not prepared. I'm not as prepared as I thought I'd be, or whatever. But it's just, you know, you look at Kevin Moran's, and you look at Jerry Robin, and you look at these other privateers that are making a career. They know how to do it. They're lining up sponsors. They're doing, you know, Jerry doing his like a different graphics package in every city. All of that stuff. They have figured it out. It is just no longer enough to just show up and be a rider unless you're a guy that's going to compete. I want to see a gas. Joey, I was wondering why they don't have another guy on that bike. And if nothing else, why have 3 KTMs and only 1 gas? Just make it equal. How? Okay, question, because I want to make a video about this. But let me know how you guys feel. I would love, and this would need work, so don't tell me how it wouldn't work, because I know this needs work. I would love an actual Constructors Championship the way that F1 does it. 2-man teams. Constructors Championship. Give it a nice fat prize pool. Make it mean something. And for the sake of it, I know that AC got hurt, so obviously we're man down, but like just imagine, you know, Anderson and AC, that's a team. Sexton and Roczen's a team. Eli and Ferandis is a team. Then you'll have like let's take Marvin, since Marvin's on the 1-year deal, let's swap him over to gas. So like Barsha and Marvin is a team. AP and Webb's a team, and then you could even have like HEP could pare down to 2, Anstie and McElrath, or well, it probably would have been man, I don't even know. Probably would have been McElrath and Savachi if you had to pick 2 of the Rocky Mountain guys. Anyway, it wouldn't be that hard to make it an actual championship, because when they do the like, oh, the manufacturer's standings, those don't matter. Because all they do there is add up, like, the top 2 scores. Or they just add up, like, who got first on a Yamaha, who was the highest placing Yamaha in both divisions. That's not fun. That doesn't work. It would just be way cooler. Because imagine then the factory guys would fill that seat. AC got injured. They would put somebody in that spot. If nothing else, they would promote a guy up. Like, maybe they'd bring in Tickle, but maybe they would have just looked and said, you know, hey, Freddie Noren, hey, Chiz, hey, Starling, whatever, like those kind of guys. Hey, we need somebody up here to score us some kind of points. It would just be so good. Yeah, MotoGP, Ripper, I know, I figured F1 people might be more familiar with it, I guess. But I don't know. I just think that'd be so cool. It wouldn't work because there could be uneven scores because of the numbers of bikes that aren't factory. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone have 2, you know? Kyle Cunningham. Vic, that's a good question. That's a good question. I follow him on Instagram and he still posts, but I just think he's one of those guys that just, I don't know, man. You don't want to do the grind anymore. I remember Cunningham did that 1 year on HEP a few years ago. That was like his last full-time year. And then I know he came out and raced a little bit as a privateer. But that's it. What year was that coming? Was it 2020 that Cunningham was on HEP, or was that 2019? I think it was 2020. It's also just really weird, man. One of my favorite things to do is go to the results page, results.amasupercross.com, and go to results and just go to like a random year's Monster Cup. Like if we just look at 2015 Monster Cup and look at the All-Stars or the Super Minis and then just play Where Are They Now? It's like one of my favorite things to do when I have nothing to do. Cuz like 2015, it's just wild to see like Forkner and Sexton. Well, obviously Sexton's a 450 race winner. Forkner never lived up to it, but he's a race winner. But then you just look at like Harrison and Taft Mitchell Falk, Sean Cantrell. Like, Cantrell's just gone out of the sport. It's weird to see, like, Ryan Surratt was here. Axel Hodges, Jordan Bailey, Hartraft. Like, it's weird to think Hartraft, of all of these guys, it's Hartraft who got 16th and Sexton who ended up with a 450 ride in their careers. Justin Cooper. But it's also just a heartbreaker to see names and then they just don't turn out, you know what I mean? He was going to have a full privateer, and I don't think he was willing to do so. Well, and Tanner, it doesn't help that by the time everything was getting rolled around, I would not blame any privateers for when looking at the 2021 season and everything getting a late start and them doing like the residencies and all of that, being like, I don't want to do that. That's a lot. I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I'm out. Have a great evening. Ron Dog, thanks for being here, man. As always, it's always a pleasure to have you in here. I will catch up with you guys. I'll catch up with you next weekend. Hammaker and Hampshire earned their pro rides for Monster Cup. Yeah? Wasn't McAdoo another one of those? Are we talking about Ferandis? Is his clock ticking? You mean like his ride is up? Austin, he's the defending 450 outdoor national champion. I think that Yamaha would be more than content having him be a sporadic podium guy as long as he continues to be a dominant force outdoors. Greg White only had 7. Who's Greg White? Boo that man. But yeah, I mean, like, I think Starr can be a little disappointed because Ferandis makes too many mistakes indoors. If I'm being honest, I'm a little surprised that Ferandis is a 250 Supercross champion. Like, when you think about it, as many mistakes as he makes in the 450 class and as bad at his starts as he is, I'm a little surprised he ever won a 250 Supercross champion. Or like, I don't know, like, and he did. Hodges is still killing it though, just not racing. Oh yeah, for sure. AC gifted him one. But even then, and I look, I'm with you guys. That was AC's title to lose, but I'm never he didn't earn it. He was in a position to win that title. He did everything he had to, and, by that logic, Osborne didn't earn his title because, his first title because Savacci and Jordan Smith threw it away. Like, you can't do that. Can't do that, dude. Nobody says that about Osborne. Isn't that interesting? Nobody ever says Osborne was gifted his. Yamaha 450 team is already so in case Craig is moving up next year. I can see him taking Roczen's spot at Honda. It'll be interesting. I think next year will be really interesting, Jett got 2 terrible starts tonight and still got on the box. Well, you know what sucks the most, Vic, is he didn't get 2 terrible starts. He himself gave himself those 2 terrible starts, and that's the worst part. But damn, I thought Ferandis would be like Sexton consistent. No, because he can't get the starts. Like, and I'm not saying the only times, but when we've seen Sexton up front, it's because he gets the start. And if he doesn't, he's right around there. Like tonight, Sexton, when he got the start, he finished 3rd, right? In that last moto. I think he finished 3rd. 3rd or 4th. No, he ended up wrecking, didn't he? He ended up 5th, yeah. Like, he just fell over. Like, not like a wreck, but he fell over. But yeah, like, when Sexton gets a start, he'll run up front, but when he doesn't get the start, he's more of that, like, 5, 6, 7 guy, which is kind of where Ferandis is when they all stay up, Zacho killed AC career. Michael, that's fact. That's a fact. Like, I would never put that juju on Osborne because I don't dislike the guy, but you're not wrong though. What about Webb letting Byrne go and now he's doing better? Chris, I think that's too much correlation versus causation. It's hard to do that because we've also moved east. Everybody was already saying, "Oh, just wait until we go east. Webb will be fine once we get east. Let's just wait till we east." So I don't think we can put too much stock into Byrne because we already were expecting Cooper to do better when we came over here. Who decides who's in opening ceremonies? I believe it's top 10 in points, Vic. I believe it's top 10 in points because AC was disappointed that he didn't get to do opening ceremonies for round 2 because he was technically 12th or whatever. Clean Track DF has been super fast. If you can get a start, we have... Yeah, and I would love that... Josh, I would just love for him to get just one. I just want to know what can Dylan Ferandis do with a whole shot in the 450 class. I legitimately want to know. Would he run away with it? When we may never know, because he may literally never get one. As a guy who sometimes watches MotoGP, I wonder why Ducati and Aprilia don't make dirt bikes. They have, Joey. They have. Have you ever seen that Aprilia? Was it an Aprilia or hold on? Yeah, because it had this really awkward frame. Do you guys remember this? So they've made them before. This was an 09 Aprilia MXV 450. I don't know. I'm sure it got raced somewhere, but I don't know. I don't know how it did or anything like that. But they did make one. It did exist. Top 10 guys, but they can make exceptions. Yeah, I figure. Like, I guess it'd be one of those of who is the 10th guy. So if Roczen was 11th and the guy in 10th was like, no offense, Max Anstie, they're like, nah, we're gonna put Ken in. I'm sure you understand, and Max would totally understand. You know what I mean? Does Mitch find a fill-in rider if Forkner misses time? No, probably not. Probably not. No. But they are already down 2 men on this coast. Shimoda will be fine. He got his boot off the other day. I don't know if you guys saw that. Yeah, I don't know, though. They are down to 2 guys. I don't know, man. That's rough. That's a rough spot to be in. It's a rough spot. You taking over Pulp here in a few years, Chris? That is not even some things I'm even trying to think about yet. I would love to be more involved with Pulp. Somebody asked earlier, I read it, and I'm sorry, I didn't read it out loud, but I read it with my eyes, but not my mind, if that makes sense. About what I do. So, graphic design, yeah, I own my own business. I make decals for cars. They're stupid. They're dumb. If you have a Honda Civic in your neighborhood that's like rusted out with a really loud exhaust and has stickers all over the back, like that's what I do. That's my day job. I hate it. I hate the people I deal with. I hate the people I sell to. I used to be really into cars. I still am. I still have a sports car I like driving, but like I'm not really into the culture anymore. That's my day job because somebody asked. But now it's mostly just Fast and Furious kind of Austin. It's more like stupid memes. Not like cool graphics, like literally a stupid meme. Like a sticker that says "You looked" and it has the little hand, like that kind of thing. I'm not even kidding. That was like our #1 seller for like 3 years straight. I hate it. When are you gonna co-host? Robert, if I ever get asked to, I would be stoked to do it. But I also understand that I'm not a draw. Nobody knows who I am. You guys do, and I appreciate you so much. But like, nobody's tuning into the Pulp Show because RotoMoto is on, like they do because Weege is on or JT or even like Myrtle or any of those other kind of guys. So like, if I ever get asked, I would be honored and I would be stoked to go on. But I'm also not gonna ever ask to go on, if that makes sense. Instagram stickers and iHeart Mills, literally that. Yeah, there you go. What state? I live in Ohio, Chris. I live in Central Ohio. Subaru Honda stuff. Mark's got me. That's what we're talking about. They need to do away with the East-West. The logic behind it makes no sense. Just waters down the racing. So, Jesse, once upon a time, the East-West meant something because it was literally what coast are you from. I disagree with it being watered down, though. Just because if we combined the coasts, we would have the same problem. We would be missing half the field. Like imagine if we combined them, right? So everybody that's racing west was racing east, right? We would already be down Cooper and Colt. We would be down Hampshire. We would be down Forkner. We would be down. Who else got hurt? Kitchen's down. Like we would be just as much down. I at least like the two coast format because right as the West might feel like it's getting out of hand, because like right now, like Christian obviously has a firm grasp on it because that last race was the last straw where Hunter kind of threw it away, and we're all like, oh well, Craig's gonna win. As soon as that happened, we have a brand new championship. And I'm happy for that because we wouldn't have that if it was one long one. It would just be attrition. What tracks have you ridden in Ohio? Andrew, I've ridden East Fork, Briarcliff, Route 62. I mean the old Honda Hills, but I haven't ridden new Honda Hills because they just brought it back. What's that one called? Huffman Hills, and there's another one in Zanesville, Ohio, but I don't remember the name of it. If any of you guys know the story when all of the tigers got out, we're talking way before Tiger King, but there was a thing in Ohio like 10 years ago. This guy had like 50 exotic animals, like snow leopards and stuff, and he let all of them out. Do you guys remember that? It was obviously big news in here, but Greer's, thank you, Paige, Greer's. But anyway, Greer's is a motocross track that is built on the land of the guy that let all those animals loose. Like wild animals, just let them loose. And he does not live that far from town. So they were just like, imagine you just open your door, take the trash out, and there's just a tiger out there. Yeah, that guy is dead. He is. That guy's dead. Thoughts on the track? Man, that was one of the coolest layouts I have ever seen. And I am so looking forward to when that gets released on MX bikes. I'm terrible at MX bikes. But especially at Supercross, I am really bad at it. But that track was so cool. I'm looking forward to when I can play it. Do you live in Ohio? I do, Jesse. I live in Ohio, yeah. Nope, I've been a Mariners fan since the 90s. So, and I collect, you can't really see them, but, well, I have a pair right here, I guess. I collect sneakers and hats. So I have a lot of, this one actually was original. I had this one made custom in this color scheme to literally match this shirt. They kept both Whoops and the Dragon Vic. I thought for sure they were going to nix at least one of those. But yeah, this was one of the best tracks I have ever seen. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed watching it. AP's dad just got smashed by, did he really, Tanner? Yeah, East Fork's really cool. AP's dad also just bought, what's the track called? Chillytown, which is in Chillicothe, Ohio, and it's a really neat, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not very natural. Like Briarcliff and Greer's are really nice natural that are built into the natural terrain of the hills. Where Chillytown is like, it's at the back of a fairgrounds. It's a permanent track, but it's in a fairground, so it's like flat. It's a really nice track, but it's a very flat manufactured track, if that makes sense, if that helps at all. I have not played the new one, no. I am not special enough to get a code for that. I would love to. I would love to play it. Milestone, if you're listening, I did email them 2 years ago, and they left me on red. I got a read receipt. I know they read it. When I say email, I mean I messaged them on some social media because they have literally no contact info anywhere on the website. But yeah, they read the message. They've seen me. They know I exist. Eventually they're gonna want a piece of this, and I'm gonna be too big for that. Which Monster Supercross game is your fave? Probably 3. I bought 4 and I played it for like maybe like 1 or 2 days, and I quit because there's nothing wrong with it. It was just, it's been so much of the same every year. It's the same game, slightly tweaked with different tracks. That's fine. I just don't want it. Just play the one from 3 years ago. Yeah, and Tanner, it'll have some little differences, I'm sure. Like, they are working on it. It is improved. I thought the physics was better in 4. I just was like, I don't really want to play. I don't want to play any more of it. I've played this before. I am beyond the I'm gonna play the same game but like with a 5% improvement every year anymore. Right hand star was interesting. Only thing was, I told a friend, if someone goes down where RJ when he oh, you're right, Josh. That would be gnarly. I never even thought of that. God, they would be like out. When's Vegas race coming back? Probably never, Chris, unfortunately. The issue is that the old Sam Boyd Stadium is now gone. And from what I have heard, none of the other stadiums in Vegas are willing to do anything in the price range that Feld is looking to pay. So we'll probably not be back in Vegas for a very long time, if ever. And that's a real bummer. Real sad to see Sam Boyd go. Especially because we didn't get that send-off in 2020. It was supposed to be the last year of Sam Boyd. We'll probably never get it again. I gotta be honest, I'm upset that anyone is buying these games because then they can justify the product. Tanner, I'm really torn because I'm with you. I hate that we give them money to put out this garbage every year, but I'm also like, the alternative is not having a game at all. And no game is less good than any game, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Is this the longest after show? Yeah, I'm wrapping it up soon, Michael. It's pushing it. Well, I'm so used to having the Apple show start at 1 a.m. that I'm like, the night is young. It's only 12:30. The problem is, and if any of you guys have a PC, and again, it's unfortunate that this isn't available on console. I know most people are still console gamers, but MX Bikes is so much fun. If you are a like real motocross person and you want to play a game that is much more physics that are real, like based on real life, play MX Sim. Or I'm sorry, play MX Bikes. MX Sim is too difficult. It is too realistic. I actually have an easier time riding a real dirt bike than I do playing MX Simulator. But MX Bikes is just forgiving enough that you can still play it and have a good time even if you're not great at it. So if that's what you're looking for, you want bikes. Grant, take care. It's good to see you. I'll catch up with you next weekend. If people don't buy it won't force them to improve it. They'll just stop making it. Yep. Anderson just ran through Tomac twice. Oh my God, Mark, it is a must situation. What was the other thing he said? Damage mode. God, Ricky, what are these words you're saying? It is a must what situation, Ricky? Must win situation. It is not damage mode, Ricky. It is damage control. He is in damage control mode. Damage mode is what Barsha is in. Bam Bam is in damage mode. Okay? Anyone know who took Blair out? Josh, I don't. I have no idea. I thought when they pulled Blair out, I was like, oh, well, Lee Diffie's coming back. You know? No, but that's Chris, that's right. I was like, well, they're having Blair in because Lee Diffie is gone. But then they brought in Todd. Monster Cross Todd. Don't even tell me you guys forgot about Monster Cross. Last year when he said, welcome to Monster Cross. Todd. Freaking Todd. What if Betts play for Seattle? Jason, I'd feel so bad for him because then he's going to be cold and miserable and never win anything. At least in LA, he might win something. Thought for sure with the Raiders' new stadium. The biggest problem, though, Robert, is that stadium is expensive, man. I also have heard that the Raiders' stadium has been one of the stingiest in terms of restrictions, like COVID restrictions. And as you guys know, the moto community is very against playing ball with restrictions. So I'm not surprised to see with the cost of that stadium being really high, the availability being low, and those restrictions being a big reason to why they didn't do it. Justin Anderson. Jeremy Mountain. God, Mark, Jeremy Mountain. I lost it at Jeremy Mountain. These people, dude. Jeremy Mountain. Yep, Jeremy Mountain. And it's one of those where I wish I could say I could do better, but I don't know, man. I might not. The difference is DB is an actual SX fanatic. The other two are hired guns that are doing it for a paycheck and probably don't even watch. And don't get me wrong, Todd's paid his dues, he's been in sport for a long time. I just think the problem is the reason Weege is so incredibly fantastic when he announces for outdoors is that Jason Wygant eats Supercross, sleeps Supercross, shits Supercross, sex Supercross, and sleeps Supercross. Like Jason Wygant gets it. He is one of us. He knows everything about the sport. And Daniel is there too. I don't think Daniel is on the level of Wygant, but Daniel is there too. Whereas Ricky and even Emig, they don't follow the sport like Weege does. They don't follow the sport like Blair does. They know the sport, but do you think Ricky or Diffie or Todd take time out of their day to research, like, all right, we're going east? Do you think Ricky looked up all 70 riders that were going to enter so that he knew something about all of them? Because I do. Not for TV, but I do that. To do this videos for you guys, I literally had to look up every single rider on the entry sheet so that I knew something. Like Chow Lopes, number 431. Did you know that's the cousin of Enzo Lopes? I didn't know that. I had to look that up. And I was like, wow, that's really neat. And he was the 2021 Brazilian Supercross champion or something like that. But yeah, Ricky and Lee, they don't know that stuff. They don't care. You can 100% tell Passion Weege is. Yeah, and that's why we love that guy. That's why we love that guy. We do not deserve Weege. He is too good for this world. Too good for this world. I would love to ask Weege. If I ever get the chance to ask him, I will ask, and I might not be able to post it publicly because he might not want that. So I'll have to post it in Discord or something. But if I get the chance to ask Weege why he doesn't do Supercross, if it's he doesn't want to or they don't ask, or if he has any information, if I ever get the chance to ask Weege, I will let y'all know. I will do that for you. And Phil's girlfriend. And Phil's girlfriend's brother. That's right. That's right, Chris. That's right. I'm gonna wrap it up. It is 12:45. This is the longest one we've ever done. Every time I do this, I say we're gonna do it for 30 minutes, and then I say we're gonna do an hour, and then you guys keep me on here talking for almost 2 hours. And I'm not mad at you. I just want to let you know that you do that to me every night. But just a reminder, last chance if you want in on the Craig plate. Patreon's pinned to the top of chat. Last chance to win the Craig plate. It is autographed right here. We even got some certificate of authenticity on the back. $5 for an entry. $10 gets you the enhanced cheat sheet stuff and 2 entries. So last one for that. Then sneak peek preview of what we're giving away next month. I got you. You can notice. You see the nuclear blast. You know what it is. You see it. So we got a jersey for next week. You don't even have to be good at fantasy. You don't even have to play fantasy. All you have to do is sign up for the Patreon, and you'll have a way better chance of winning this than you will of winning a jersey through Pulp by getting the high score. So shout out to Team Solitaire for sending me a care package that included a jersey to give away to you guys. Follow on YouTube if you haven't already, on Twitter and Instagram, whatever, blah blah blah. But I will. I'll have a video out tomorrow. I'll go over Forkner's crash. I'll watch it on slow mo a ton between Forkner and Jett. I'll do that tomorrow. Injury report video will probably be up Tuesday, Wednesday, once I have more details about who is hurt and how long they're going to be out. And then fantasy video on Friday, and then we'll do another live show after Daytona. So be good people, and have a good rest of your weekend. See you guys.